I think if you ask most people to describe what Muji products looked like, they would probably use words like simple, basic, minimal. But have you ever stopped to consider why? Well, in this video, I want to talk about Muji's brand philosophy and how it kind of shows up in this product, which is Muji's Diffuser. And the answer to this question, why, goes in a much different direction than I think you're going to be expecting. That discussion doesn't happen till the end of this video, so I hope you stick around for that. The other thing I wanted to mention is that in this video, there is also a segment that is just purely what the Muji Diffuser is, if you have like no idea what it is. So let's get into the video. Just in case you are not familiar with the Muji Aroma Diffuser, I'm just gonna go over sort of what it is and how it works, and then we'll get into the video. The Aroma Diffuser, the purpose of it is to disperse aroma in a room. It comes in 2 different sizes. It comes with a timer, so you can set it for different amounts of time, from like 30 minutes all the way to 180 minutes. So you can turn this on and fall asleep and you don't have to worry about turning it off. It also has a light that has 2 different settings. So depending on what you want, it gives a little bit of variety. It's very easy to use. You just open it up, fill it with water, and put some essential oils in it, and close it up, turn it on, and you're good to go. It's a really nice product to have to turn on like right before you go to bed, and because it does have the scent and the light, it kind of provides this calming scent experience. Kenya Hara, who is Muji's art director, has said in this book, which is called Designing Design, he said that the point of the Muji concept is to point to the basics or universality of everyday life. And just to clarify the word universality, it means the quality of being shared by all people and things in the world. It also means the quality of being appropriate for all situations. So really we're talking about a quality in a thing that can fit in with anyone, anywhere. Well, I think we could talk about it in 2 ways. We could look at the Muji Diffuser itself, and then we could also look at how the diffuser fits into people's interior environments. If we look at the Muji Diffuser for a minute and look at visually like what the appearance is, we could say that it's a cylindrical form. It's a basic cylindrical form. There's nothing about it that really stands out or is visually jarring. One of the ingredients in all products is what I would say the overall quality and character of a product. And if you're interested in learning more about the ingredients in all products, I do have a free workbook, which I'll put a link somewhere. It has a kind of soft quality to it, right? Has kind of soft rads on the corners. There's no like hard edges. You know, imagine if this did have a harder edge. It would highlight a line that would be the shadow, okay? And it gives a much different appearance to the product than it does have now, which is very, very soft. When I look at it, the words that come to mind are things like white, translucent, and matte. And I think it's interesting that, you know, when you turn it on and look at the thing that it creates, which is vapor, those 3 words, white, translucent, and matte, are 3 words that also describe the thing that it creates. There's some differences, yes. The vapor is more, let's say, animated, right? It has a kind of life to it. But it is really nice that there is a continuity between the thing and the thing that it creates. When you turn on the light, it makes me think of like fog, like headlights and fog. And that's kind of a deliberate effect of how, not only how the light has been treated, but also how the LED indicator light. And in both cases, how they've treated that light is they've put an LED behind plastic, which gives the effect of, it's a very diffused light. Now, as I'm making these associations between vapor, clouds, fog, I think it's important to note that vapor, clouds, fog are all elements in the world. And you know, if we think about what is basic and universal to all humans, the sun, the moon, the weather, the fact that this thing kind of looks like a lot of other basic universals in the world, I think is very intentional. If you're someone who's watching and kind of questioning why I'm making these kind of associations with other things or phenomena in the world, and whether or not I'm just making this stuff up or telling you a story, the reason why making associations between qualities in a product is so valuable is because these are kind of like subconscious things that people pick up when they look at a product. And so as a designer, you're very aware of those associations, of making the appropriate associations to what you want to convey in kind of the overall appearance and quality and character of a product. Because it's very easy to create something, whether it be, you know, you can scribble on a piece of paper, like real scribbles, and start to see, oh, I see a dog, or, you know, you can start to, things can start to appear in the scribbles, right? Actually, in a design, that can happen too. You'll be working on your design, and then all of a sudden it starts to look like a flower or something. And if a flower is a very bad association, you'll want to change your design so that it doesn't have that association. But in this case, making association with like vapor, with fog, these are all really appropriate associations, especially if you are trying to design something that is universal, that fits in anywhere with anyone, because it's more like a weather element or part of the weather. So if we look at how the diffuser fits into any interior, we can see that the Muji Diffuser just kind of fits in everywhere. It doesn't really stand out. It doesn't demand a lot of attention. It's kind of unobtrusive. You know, it's not a product that is like looks really out of the ordinary. It's kind of, you know, quiet. And also, I have to show you this one with the dog because it's kind of cute. I like the golden retriever. Yeah, so as we can see, it fits in to kind of any interior environment. So what is the purpose of designing products with the quality of fitting in with anyone, anywhere? And I realize that sounds like really obvious and basic and kind of a silly question that could have a lot of different answers. But really, this is where I wanted to get to, and I hope there's people still watching right now because this is where I think it gets kind of interesting. Kenya Hara has talked about one concept that I'd like to dig into, and it has to do with what the Muji products kind of aspire to be. Kenya Hara talks about this idea of acceptance over appetite. And what he means by acceptance is seeing a Muji product, which I don't have right now, and having the reaction, this will do. It's kind of a rational acceptance, versus appetite, which is like seeing something and like being, oh my God, I have to have that thing. Like, I must have that. I simply must have that. Yeah? And I think what he's talking about here is desire, and the amount of desire for something and the quality of that desire. Now, I think there's a few things we can talk about in the nature of desire and perhaps why it's not desirable to have too much of it for any product, which sounds kind of counterintuitive, I know. Now, if we think of the nature of desire, it is temporary, right? It's something that does not last. So if we're interested in sustainability, in longevity for our designs, for people wanting our designs, these are all really interesting questions. You can think of any situation that you've been in your life, and we all go through these things, where you have desire for a thing, a person, a situation, an event, something that you want, just really, really want in your life. And, you know, either A, once it's been satisfied or enough time has passed, that desire just can kind of dissipate. It kind of goes away. It's not really sustainable. Now, there are positives to having desire, like a certain amount of it is necessary to live in the world and work and buy things, but there's also some negatives. And one of those negatives is that desire demands a lot of attention. And this is something that I think is extremely relevant today. And if we think back, you know, Kenya Hara, this book, Designing Design, it was first published in 2007. So a number of years ago, probably written between 10, 15 years ago. And this idea of things that demand our attention, I think is extremely timely today. When we think of, you know, we just have to look at our phone, which I'm doing right now, to remember, you know, like how much attention our phones demand from us. Yeah, I think we all know this. And these are really interesting ideas, especially when you think about how to design products that achieve longevity. You know, not just in their kind of physical makeup / materials, you know, they're robust and will last a long time, physically last a long time, but also, you know, designing products. How do you design products that people will want to live with for a long time? So personally, one of my pet peeves of a product that continues to demand my attention is the microwave. And if you don't open the door after it has run its course, it continues to sing to you, like get a little jingle, and I find it like the most annoying thing ever. And I'm actually curious to hear, put your grievances down below. I'm really curious to hear, what are the products in your life that constantly demand your attention? So the second thing is that desire is an endless cycle. So once you've gone through the cycle of desire once, it just continues over and over and over again. So what Kenya Hara is proposing is that the way to be free from the cycle of desire is this idea of rational acceptance, of, you know, not trying to incite large appetite for wanting a thing, right? It's like you just, this will do. That's what he's trying to, you know, that's the feeling that you should get. Now, it's kind of funny because in the book he talks about like wanting to be like the absolute best of this will do. But at the same time, he also talks about even people having like a slight dissatisfaction. And I guess there's kind of a tension there between trying to be the best, you know, of rational acceptance and slight dissatisfaction, because you also kind of need to sell things. So I think in some respects, this Muji Diffuser really kind of exemplifies the Muji concept in that it calms our senses, just like the Muji concept calms our desires. So that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're still here, thank you for watching my video. Oh boy, I need to get going. I actually have I've just started taking tennis lessons. I'm taking my second tennis lesson ever tonight, and it's a ton of fun. It's really hard, but it's really great to be a beginner. I highly encourage everyone to be a beginner at something. It really reminds you of what it's like to struggle. So I have a lot of empathy for anyone starting out anything. Till next time, see you later.